From UFOs to psychic powers and government conspiracies, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now, or learn the stuff they don't want you to know. Here are the facts. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea, often called North Korea, is one of the world's most misunderstood countries. It's also, if reports are to be believed, home to an obscene number of human rights abuses, including an estimated 200,000 citizens in labor camps, often for crimes their relatives committed. The country has been hit by bouts of famine like the arduous March of the mid-1990s, when hundreds of thousands, possibly millions, of people died. The government negotiates through threats, most notably during talks over its nuclear program. The Western media often describes the DPRK as a criminal empire implicated in kidnappings, drugs, counterfeiting, and more. But if North Korea really is as bad as the media would have you think, then why haven't world governments intervened? Here's where it gets crazy. There's not a compelling reason, in their opinion, to change this situation. Despite the public accusations, it appears that no country wants to create regime change. And it's not a matter of helping the citizens in labor camps, stopping crime, or halting nuclear proliferation. Instead, it's a sensitivity toward an increasingly fragile status quo. After all, the Korean War never really ended. Although an armistice was signed, no final peace treaty exists. Today, China is the DPRK's primary benefactor, and it has cultivated a relationship with 3 generations of the country's rulers. Yet China does not have control over the country, only influence, and any military intervention could result in the death of millions, as the DPRK would likely follow through on its decades-old plan to attack Seoul, South Korea's capital located just across the border. According to Kurt Campbell, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Asian and Pacific Affairs, the U.S. goal for Korea is a non-nuclear, peacefully reunified Korean peninsula. China isn't keen on a collapsing North Korea either. A failed state at China's border would trigger a massive wave of refugees flooding the countryside. This could result in U.S. military forces creeping ever closer to China. Despite these concerns, Chinese support for the DPRK is waning as the government tires of the Kim dynasty. Another option could be regime change from within, using local forces. This is a tried and true CIA tactic in countries across the globe, but inciting a people's revolution could also result in a collapse of the government and, if discovered, this activity would be considered an act of war by China. The US and China aren't the only players in this game, but as each seeks to be the dominant force in East Asia, the fragile status quo on North Korea is increasingly endangered. In the absence of concrete information, rumors run wild, including speculation about the role of international financial institutions. But for now, despite all the rhetoric, warmongering, and propaganda, North Korea seems safe from global intervention. Unless, of course, there's something the world's superpowers don't want you to know.
This means that a crime committed by one person, let's say your grandmother, your grandfather, is something that will be visited on, in terms of consequences, to their children and to you as a grandchild. This also works in reverse, so if you commit a crime, this could go to your parents, this could go to your grandfather. This means that people can be in these labor camps not only for crimes that they didn't commit, but for crimes of which they were never aware.